And good afternoon. Good evening. I'm assuming it's afternoon or evening in some places and late afternoon in Florida and wherever you're from. Welcome to our Lowrey Virtual Spectacular. We have actually an exciting 4 days of Lowrey Virtual Spectacular featuring some of your favorite Fletcher talented artists and clinicians. And each day is going to be totally different on different Lowrys and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As I put in the email, it's going to be a fun 4 days. And today we thought we'd kick off today with Arizonans, myself and Sean Maloney. We have some other exciting things to share with you a little bit, but we're going to get right into this, and we're going to zoom over to literally a split second from Tucson to Mesa, and we're to open up the show today. We have none other than the great and one and only Mr. Sean Maloney, everybody.
Yes.
Yay,
All right. Thank
Sean!
you.
Yay,
Thank you,
yay,
Barbara.
Sean!
Bizzling
My number
Sean.
one fan.
Bizzling Sean.
Yeah. Thanks, Barbara. I needed that. Sometimes I need a boost before I play. All right. So we're going to have fun today. I get to play an instrument I haven't had in our store, and actually Barbara can attest to this. I haven't had this in quite a while. I've got a Marquee here. So I get to play some fun stuff that I don't get to play very often. I see some people going like this. I think several of you might have this instrument. So you're going to get some good information because actually I think both Robert and myself, not only are we going to play for you today, we're going to explain what the heck we're doing also. So I'm going to play a new rhythm, one of my all-time favorites. It's called Rocky Tiger, and it's one of the theme songs from Rocky called Gonna Fly Now. So let's see if this camera's working. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Now you can see the tie even better since you mentioned it. There we go. Here we go. Here's Rocky. That's a fun one.
Yay,
Hard not to get,
yay.
thanks, thank you. Hard not to get energized listening to that one. That's a fun one. So just a couple things about what I did. You might have noticed I used a really cool feature that came out on this instrument that I haven't used in a long time, so it's really fun. Can anybody guess the feature, actually? Let's get you involved here. Did anybody notice something I did in that?
FX
Cascade.
Cascade, you got it. Yeah, there's a button next to my harmonies over here called Cascade. All I got to do is turn it on, and I love this feature because it takes, let's just show you what I did for an example here. Basically, rather than have a full chord when you touch a note and all the harmony parts at one time like I did, because I think I was doing. It's just so big right off the bat. So if you use the cascades, each note comes in individually, so I can kind of layer it a little better. And it sounds great. All I did was touch a button and it just sounds better. What I like too, and this is for those of you with this instrument or something like it, if you use categories, you have a bunch of great categories of sounds built into the instrument, and one of them is actually called cascades. So if you don't know when to use that feature or what instruments it might sound good with, go to your categories, look for cascades on the screen, and you'll have a whole bunch of good examples to try. So another one that I like, there are bells, you know, so if you touch one note rather than have all the bells play at once, you know. That doesn't sound very good. So what you would want to do is put the cascade feature on so the notes come in one at a time. Because if you're playing real live bells, you don't have any more than 2 hands, I'm guessing. So when you have a harmony on with a bunch of notes on it, think of it like you're playing harmonies with a guy with a bunch of sticks coming out of his hands, and that's kind of weird. So what I'll do is I'll press the cascade, and then it's somebody playing individual notes like this. So you can kind of layer it a little better. Another example I like is the country guitar, because a lot of people like country here. So if you're thinking, I want to use those cascades, but when do I use them? You can just put on a country rhythm, put on that cascading country guitar, and you're ready to go. So you can play a song like Your Cheatin' Heart. So it's just a great feature to use. If you haven't used cascades, try it. It's really fun, and it just makes you sound good right off the bat. So my next song, this is a lot of fun because they added another rhythm in here called swaying Latin. Okay, that's the name of the rhythm, swaying Latin. It's actually a signature style. It's made for the song Sway. So you guys have probably heard that song before. We've played it in some of these concerts because it's a fun one. But I was thinking, you know, there's got to be some other stuff I can do with that, because that's just a really fun rhythm, really upbeat and big. What else can I play with that? And I thought of this song. It's a Latin song, coincidentally, called Más que Nada. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. You may recognize it when I start playing it. So here's what I'm going to do is play it and see if you know it here. But all I'm doing to the rhythm is just speeding it up. So I'm playing at 170. And then everything else, I'm just playing what I've got in front of me here. So here we go. do a solo here.
Sean, how do you spell Mascanada?
Well, backwards, it would be A-D, no, I'm just kidding. M-A-S, Mas, and then K-Q-U-E, Nada, N-A-D-A. It's originally by a guy named Jorge Ben, who I'm a huge fan of. If you listen to some of his music, it's all great.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, swaying Latin sounds fantastic. If you've got a fast Latin song, try that style. It's really, really good. So I used another feature during that I don't know, maybe we'll touch on a little later as well, but it's called auto fake it. So not just fake it where I have to kind of hit a bunch of random notes and hope that they fit the timing. I just touched any two black keys. So what I did with that one, go back to my rhythm here, I had a flute, I think. And all I did is I touched two keys. And they'll play a solo for me, so I don't have to know what I'm doing. I'll let them play. So it's kind of cool. It's like actually being a conductor in a band or orchestra, where you're the guy who stands at the front and goes like this, and then your instrumentalist, your flute player, plays. So you're still the conductor. So let's see, what should I do next? I'm going to do one of my favorites, one of my favorite rhythms, and I know that because I actually stored it in my favorites button. So if you don't use this is another feature you got to start using. There's a button over here by my rhythm section called favorites. Ooh, actually I even set up another camera I can show you. It looks flickery, but I promise it's not like that. This camera just doesn't get along with the TV. But I put my favorite rhythm in here called Southern Nights. And it's actually for the song called Southern Nights. Go figure. So it's a really fun one to play as well. You can play a lot of different songs with it, but of course it's going to sound fantastic with, oops, I put on the wrong rhythm. I forgot to click on my favorite, Southern Nights. Here we go. So Glenn Campbell's version. Here we go. Let me switch back to here. Here's Glenn. Here we go. Southern Nights. That's another one that has a bunch of good versions of that. If you look that song up, you'll find a whole bunch of good ones. The original, Alan Toussaint, his version's fantastic as well. So let's see. So I'm going to actually just play maybe one or two more, and Robert's got some really good ones too, so I want to save him some time. So I've done a bunch of more upbeat songs. Let's do something a little bit slower. There's a new rhythm they put in here as well called orchestral ballad, another favorite. It makes you melt. It's just a really, really pretty, lush, heavy strings kind of ballad because it's an orchestral ballad. So I am going to actually just put on the style and play what comes up. And this is another one you can play almost anything with if it's a slow ballad, and it's going to sound good. So here's a song that actually a lot of people made famous called Young at Heart. Just a pretty song. Let me go to this here. Start my introduction. Oopsies, wrong button. There I am. All right, thank you. That's another feature I used a lot. The grand virtuoso, not just virtuoso, it's grand this time, because I can play it with either hand and either side, because it just so happens when you're playing a lot of the time, this hand's too busy, so it's kind of hard to reach up real fast. So it's easier to use my left hand while I'm playing the song here and use whichever side works best. So I am going to play one more song, and it's another one of my favorites. I'm using that word a lot. So what I'm going to have to do is actually use my favorites button and put all these styles in there, and then they'll truly be my favorites. So the next one I'm going to use is a rhythm called Doris 3/4. And it's for Doris Day. And Que Sera Sera is what sounds good with that. So let's play Que Sera Sera. Que Sera Sera. Here we go. going to turn on my altar style for this next part. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first segment. The second segment's going to be even better because we have Mr. Robert Roman.
Well, I like that you said it's going to be even better, but I think it's going to be pretty equal if you ask me.
Yeah, that makes
We're
more
going to
sense.
have some fun here today. So today I'm going to be playing 3 of my favorite styles of music. I thought I'd come up with a little theme today. One is going to be big band. A lot of people know I love my big band tunes. Love my Latin numbers. But today I'm going to feature what I normally don't play a lot of, which is rock music. And you'd say rock. Well, what kind of rock? Well, I think the rock that a lot of people, most people would like. In fact, I'm going to open up and a couple of the numbers I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using music, just like a student would, or I'll use my iPad as well. You know, I'm going to have a little bit of both here today. And I'm going to open up with a fun number here that, you know, if you're ever having a bad day, you know, I think this is a song that you need to learn and dedicate to yourself. If you have one of those days, sometimes you need to say to yourself, you know, I just really need to just take it easy, right? Don't you ever feel like saying that? Yeah. And so this song is an Eagles classic called Take It Easy. And I want you to see what feature I'm using. Pretty clever. It'll probably be easy to guess. And this was actually one of the new styles that was introduced on the Grand Marquee in the aria. And I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but I don't always play it. So I'm going to use music and see what happens here. See if you can catch the feature I'm using. Gotta make that face. thank you, thank you. I've been rehearsing all morning long on those ooh, ooh. Did I sound good? It sounded
Yeah,
better.
Robert, I think if people are playing that song and not making those faces, they're doing it wrong. So
Exactly. There's
there you
so
go.
much happening there. Even if you kind of go along with it, your body, you just feel like smiling and feeling good and taking it easy and ooh, guitar faces. And, Now, did anybody know what feature I used?
Auto fake it.
Auto fake it on the bottom keyboard. If you're using that style, by the way, take it easy, and you just play the chords and the music, it does that whole guitar part just like the Eagles did in there. I thought it was pretty classic. I'll be using fake it a few other ways today. I just think it's, and I'm doing it because while I have a Grand Marquee, I might as well get to use this feature. Now, I told you 3 styles of music. I did some rock, and I'm going to do it a couple times. Now I'm going to feature big band. Now this, I'm not going to give you the answer, and I'm not going to tell you if you can figure it out, that's great, but you have to go back to your store and ask your salesperson or personal assistant, ask them if they know what rhythm this is, okay? This is a new rhythm that was introduced on the Grand Marquee. Now, if I put on intro 1 and I play just a regular C chord, you would know instantly, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to play one of my favorite big band tunes using one of the new big band styles, and most people will not guess the answer of this style. All right, let me cover up the screen so you're not peeking. Let's see here. All right, because not only am I not going to use intro 1, but I'm going to use intro 2 and do a minor chord, and it does not sound anything like the style that it's labeled, okay? But let me put my music here. I'm going to feature a song that I love playing that's near and dear to my heart. I don't play it a lot in concert, so that's why I wanted to play it today. And it's Fly Me to the Moon with this new big band style that, see if you can guess. Here we go. Oh, you could tell I was really enjoying that style because I used it differently than I ever have. And it's an exclusive new style that they introduced on the Grand Marquee and is on the aria. And if you can get the answer right, my hat's off to you. I'll give you the organ for free, but I'll charge you about $1 million delivery fee that is part of the package, but you'll feel like you're getting the organ free. No, wasn't that fun? Now, in the beginning of that, when I was playing, I don't know if you caught this. As a guitar player, I'm always fascinated by new guitar sounds as the instruments came out over the years. And they have that guitar bend. There was, when I played it, the guitar sound bent automatically for me. Not like the glide, it does an actual guitar bend. You'll hear me using that sound. Being a guitar player, I love the guitar sounds. I'll use it again. Now, I did some rock, I did some big band. How about a little bit of Latin music? This is another one of these new styles that if I put on the intro one, you'll instantly guess what it is. But I'm not going to do intro one. I'm going to do intro two. Let me close off my screen so you're not peeking. And I'll share the answers with you. By the way, next Thursday at 1 o'clock, I'm doing a class for anybody who has a touchscreen model. If someone reminds me then, I'll share with you the answers to this if you don't figure it out by then. But let me put on this new Latin style here. This is one of my favorite new Latin styles. All right. And I'm going to play, this is an interesting song. I don't play it a lot in concert, but I demonstrate it a lot when I'm demonstrating certain organs. The reason is whenever I demonstrate a Latin style, especially someone that's newer to the hobby, a lot of us demonstrate the song because it looks very simple. And it lets the potential new student or someone that's playing a little bit see that you don't have to be a gifted player to sound great. And I thought, I need to play this song in concert because it's such a beautiful song to begin with. But this is, again, one of these new Latin styles that you may or may not know when you hear it. All right, so here we go. Isn't that beautiful? It's funny because those two styles Again, if you want to know the answers, if you don't find out between now and next Thursday, I'm doing a special edition Lowrey class workshop for anyone that has an SUEYEX or A series model that has a big window touchscreen, okay? I've got two things that I'm going to be teaching that day that'll apply to virtually all of the models. We're going to teach you some shortcuts, and we're going to explain how to easily work the sounds. But I will reveal the answers then of those two styles, okay, if you haven't figured it out. But bottom line is, when the Grand Marquee was introduced, as some of you may have heard, some of you probably have the organs and the arias, there were styles that were called real styles. And all that meant was if you use the style, now for example, I opened up with the song Take It Easy. Well, the name of the rhythm style was Take It Easy. So when I used the intro one, you could very easily hear that that was made for that song. Okay, well, the last two songs I played, if I had played the introduction ones, you would have instantly go, oh, but if you didn't like those songs, what happens is sometimes we don't play those styles, and I just shared with you those two styles work great for a lot. So again, next week. But what Lowrey also did is they introduced some styles labeled light. Now, if you've seen me online over the last 6 to 9 months, you might have heard me talk about these styles, but I'm going to showcase them a little bit differently today. And the styles are called light, L-I-T-E, okay? And all it means, it's a fully beautifully orchestrated rhythm style that's less in calories, so it's not so busy, all right? And I'm going to feature two of them, both in the big band and Latin category. And so let me just go to my light category here. I'm going to open up with one called Light Big Band. And the reason why I was inspired by playing the song today is I've recently been using Best Songs Ever in our classes, and I use the course materials that Carrie Price put together for our students. And it's really a great course because he explains the song and a little history of it, and you know how when it was popular, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this song, I had to come up with some setups for the students, and we had various people with different models from small to big. Well, on the Grand Marquee, I just took a chance and said, well, try this rhythm out and try this sound. And I was so blown away by that. And then I tried a feature. So let me tell you what I'm doing, okay? So I'm going to use a style called Light Big Band. I'm going to use a new category preset that many of you have probably heard about called Dimension. But you're going to hear it a little bit differently today. There's 10 new dimensional sounds. And all it means is these are sounds that the most common sounds that we normally would use, you know, from pianos, guitars, saxophones, etc. Okay, guitars. All right. And what was done in these sounds is, and then the reason why they call it dimension, was they wanted to give these sounds a new dimension to the way you hear it. In other words, make it more authentic. Now, how do they do that? Well, you're going to hear it. Now, I'm not going to play all 10. I'm going to use 2 or 3 of my favorites here. All right. So I'm going to start off with this new dimensional saxophone. And before I put on the rhythm, and I'm going to use the intro too on this and do the minor chord. And you're going to hear me playing the song Summertime. And before I play it, listen to the saxophone. You can almost hear the breath blowing in the instrument. Isn't that fascinating? So I'll start off the song with that. Then I'm going to switch to my dimensional clarinet and the guitar bend, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. So most people, not all, are familiar with the Fake It feature. And Fake It has evolved. And someone caught it earlier, I used the auto Fake It, but this time I'm going to put on the auto Fake It. I'm going to get it set. I can assign where I want the Fake It to go, upper or lower. So what I'm going to do is assign it down here, and when I'm ready to play it, I'm just going to simply hit the two notes together. And what's going to happen is my guitar bend sound is going to do a fake it. And it's going to do this really smooth and sexy guitar sound. And it's just going to play just right, not too busy. Well, while it's doing that, I'm going to come back up here and continue playing the song with the clarinet so I can play the melody, and while it's backing me up on the guitar sound automatically. Oh, yes, you heard it right. I see some looks up there like, really? Really? You heard it right here live at Fletcher Music Center's Lowrey Virtual Spectacular with Robert Roman and Sean Maloney. So let me start off with the saxophone. This new light big band style is just to die for. It's just classy, and that was a lot of talking to introduce what I'm doing, but you could see why. I wanted to explain it first so you can see it happening as I'm doing it, and then I'll kind of point it out as I go. Here we go. That saxophone. Dimensional clarinet with the guitar bend. Let's do a little guitar solo first. Here we go. Now it's going to follow me. Here we go. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I really love that. It just gives you so much emotion and some feeling when you're playing it, you know. Hopefully you can feel some of that virtually. Oh, I got a couple more tunes to play here yet. Now, I told you I like my Latins, I like my big bands, I like my rock. So I'm going to do a little bit different version of big band. Now, I did a little minor version, but this time I'm going to use another one of my new big band styles and play a little bit different. I do a little fun medley here for you. Let's see here. You won't know the answer to this one either unless you can figure it out on your own. All right. You can cheat by asking one of your staff members, or show up next Thursday at 1 o'clock for my very special edition class. That's for all SU, EYA, and EX with a touchscreen. That's a lot of models. So just if your organ has a touchscreen. But anyway, let's have a little fun with this little big man medley here. And new guitar. New dimensional vibraphone. Here we go. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nothing like a crowd hooting and hollering in the key of D. All right, well, I got one more fun number for you, and this is going to be back on the rock category, but I'm going to do it a little medley, and I will tell you the rhythm style I'm using, and then, but I want to show it to you two different ways. But before I do, a couple quick announcements. Sean, did you get my message about what to screen share?
Yes, I got your fax, and I'm going to share that
Fax.
right now.
Does anybody know what a fax is? It's funny because I've had some new employees not know how to do a fax. All right, so first, just a reminder. The rest of the week we have, oh, that's such a beautiful screenshot of me. Just keep it right there. Oh, no, we got to talk about other people too. We have.
Yeah, I need a new picture. Yeah.
We have an exciting week planned. Hopefully you're having fun today. I got one more fun number to play for you, actually a little medley. Jerome Johnson right here tomorrow at 1 o'clock Arizona, 4 o'clock Eastern, and figure it out from there wherever you're at in the world. We hope we have the same attendance. He's got a fun show, totally different model he's going to be playing. You're going to see all sorts of different Lowreys this week. And we're going to share what we're doing along the way, so you're learning things. Also, Andrew Leach has got a spectacular show planned. Rumor is he might feature two models with just, it took me and Sean to do two models. Andrew might do it by himself. And, of course, we're going to close the week off with none other than Dazzling Dawn right out of the Villages. It's my understanding that she has a class that ends roughly an hour, half hour, or something like that before that. So for you Villages people, if you're there, you have a great opportunity not just see it on the screen, but you could see it live and give her a nice little live audience at the same time. So that's
Did
happening.
you say for the village people?
The villages people. Yes, I guess it does sound like the village people.
Yes.
The villages people. Yes, it's different than the village people. It's the villages people, right? The people of the villages. The people. Okay, enough of that. So, and last but not least, I just want to. I know early this morning, I sent out a special email. I'm just going to say a couple words on this or sentences, but we have officially a 96-hour emergency sale. And in short, what this means is we are doing something very spectacular. The last time I did something like this was back in January of 2021. That was over a year and a half ago. And we made a lot of happy customers. And in short, I've had a lot of people ask, why am I doing this? Well, you know, it's been a strange 2 years. And without you, we wouldn't be doing this event. And we still have a long ways to go to get to where we want to be, back to, quote, normal. And what better way than to thank our customers for their loyalty and some of your purchases. We have had a lot of you make 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 purchases over the years, and to give back. And so we are offering to our loyal members pennies on the dollar pricing, not just on these 3 models, folks. Those are just some examples. But models like the Inspire, which we only have one of in each state. Models like a Marquee. We have one Marquee available in all of our company. Or a Grand Marquee. So if you've ever been dreaming about some of the, like what we've been showcasing today, or a Prestige or an Easy 10, do yourself a favor and contact your personal assistant and one of your sales staff members and find out, because I'll tell you, you will not argue the price that I give to our customers. I'm determined to make some very happy customers this week. It's my way of saying thank you, and it's a huge win-win for Fletcher Music Centers. Summers get to be a little tricky for us, and we want to prevent any trickiness. And the best way we can do it is saying thank you by offering something. So do yourself a favor, reach out to your staff member and ask about it. Now, I'm going to close off with a fun number here. And I'm a believer that if we do a lot of wonderful things in the world, you'll get that back in return. And I'm a believer that, show of hands, do you love your teachers and educators? Show of hands, the ones that have screens. Yes, I'm a believer that our students love our staff members so much that they might pick up the phone and call one of them and say, tell me more about that special opportunity. But I'm also saying that tongue-in-cheek because I'm going to start off with a song. I'm going to do a little medley. And I'm going to feature the song I'm a Believer. And this style, by the way, is called I'm a Believer. And I also wanted to play it because some of you may know this, but over the years, every now and then when I played the song, my daughter used to argue with me and say, oh, that's that song from the movie Shrek. And I'd say, no, it's not from the movie Shrek. Yes, it is. And she'd pull it up on her phone. I go, well, okay, yes, it is. But it originally came back, what was it, the 60s? A group called the Monkees. They had their TV show. And it's it's a little bit on the rock flavor. But, I was playing it. Jerome shouted out in the background. He says, you know what? That'd be good for another song like Proud Mary. You don't always have to play I'm a Believer. So I'm going to do a little finish off today's show with a little bit of rock and roll music for you. Real fun. And have a little fun with this here. So let's see. Now not only am I going to use sheet music, but I'm going to use my iPad both. So let's see here. I'm going to find Proud Mary. Here we go. Boy, talk about getting tricky. I have to use an iPad. So you can use whatever method you want. And again, one and only Grand Marquee left in the United States. Here we go. Let's see here. I'm a Believer. Just a rhythm preset style setup. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And let's give another big round of applause. I want to hear you screaming out there for Sean Maloney, everybody. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. And then, of course, again, as always, keep playing music. Stay safe and
Bye, Robert.
bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call your PA.
I don't have one.
Call me if you don't have one.
Gone.